Hey guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lindsay Hay, and I just kind of wanted to give you a quick version of my story and just kind of how I came about to where I am now as a Beachbody coach. So I am a wife to Jamie of 6 years and a mom to two little ones. Evan is 4.5 and Emlyn is 2.5. And I'm also an ICU nurse. I actually just cut down to PRN hours. And so that's kind of who I am in a nutshell. I'm a Christ follower. I really try to, run my life and my business with giving Him the glory. And it's not always easy, and I'm not perfect, but that's kind of my goal. So I think those of you who are here kind of know that's kind of what I stand for, and I'm just excited to share this opportunity with you all. But I'm going to take you back to, March, April of 2013. My daughter at the time was 5 months. My son was 2. And a couple things were going on in my head. I knew that I wanted to lose my baby weight. I was feeling tired, no energy, just blah, kind of that frumpy feeling. And I also was kind of at a point where I was comfortable in my life in the fact that I was, taking care of my husband and my kids, working part-time, which is, I am so fulfilled being a wife and mom. But I also knew that Christ calls us to step out of our comfort zone. And I by no means was, at all. I, take care of my kids, love on them, and then I sit on my couch and watch TV at night. And I knew that there was something more out there. I knew that I was supposed to be doing more, and I had no idea what. I had actually looked into volunteering at the Pregnancy Crisis Center and looking into a few different other organizations through my church. And I wasn't really sure. Nothing was really pulling at me, and I didn't really feel called one way or the other. And about this time, I was scrolling through social media on my couch one night probably, and I saw this post for a challenge group. Now, the person who posted it was someone that used to be my neighbor, and we had kind of lost connection over the years, but reconnected through social media, probably just stalked each other, basically, like we all do. And I commented and said, I want to know more about this challenge group, because I knew that I needed accountability. I knew that I wanted to step up my game, my health-wise. I had always been active, in high school, and had, a passion for being healthy, but I was not being healthy, and I knew I needed to get my life back on track. So I sent her a message and said I was interested, and I pretty much knew I would do whatever it took to change my life towards a healthy direction. And so I committed. I was all in. I started with Turbo Fire, which I absolutely loved, started drinking Shakeology, and just loved the group atmosphere of the other women that were in there going after the same goals. We encouraged each other, and I got great results. I had not felt that good, and I don't even know how long. It's one of those things, you didn't even know you were feeling bad until you start feeling so good, and that's where I was. And so I asked my coach one day, probably towards the end of the group, I said, I have a friend that really wants to join in one of these groups. When is your next group? And at that time, she just came back at me and said, well, have you ever considered becoming a coach yourself? And it was like a light bulb, at that very moment, because I honestly hadn't thought about it. And at that moment, it was just oh my gosh, this could be my thing, this could be it. But at the time, I did not really have the confidence in myself to lead other women. I was just starting out on my journey. So I was like, you know what, I'll just sign up for the discount because I love my Shakeology. Who doesn't want to save money? I'll just kind of see how this thing goes. So I did that, and I thought, maybe I'll try and run a challenge group. My mom was interested, and that friend I mentioned was interested, so I ran a group. And it had me and 2-3 other people in it. And I loved it. I truly loved doing it. So I slowly started to look into the business side of things. And I started to see just a change happening in myself. I think part of it was because as a coach, we have to focus so much on personal development, and I was really having to step out of my comfort zone, and that was really hard. But I could tell I was changing and growing and becoming more confident. And it was just awesome. So then about, let's see what time frame we're in. Maybe 6 months in, I was kind of dabbling. I, started to look at it as a business and was really starting to put some work in. And my husband found out that he was getting into CRNA school. So that's nurse anesthetist school. So you have to be basically unemployed. You're not allowed to work. So I was absolutely dreading having to go back to work full time, leaving my babies, having to put them in daycare so my husband could go to school. So I really kind of busted my butt with my business, and I just kind of picked it up, and I just did the daily things that I really was kind of doing, but not consistently. And I made it just a goal that I was not going to go back full time. So when my husband started school in fall of, 2014, so last fall, a year ago, I was able to stay part-time as an ICU nurse and still help support my family with this coaching business as well as my nursing income. And so then this year goes by. Now we're in fall of 2015. I just put my notice in at work to go to PRN, which is as needed. So I only have to work one day every 2 weeks. And this opportunity has allowed me to do that. It's hard. I know I was only working 2 days a week, but my husband would have to rush home from the hospital, pick up my kids, get them all situated. He wouldn't even be able to study until after they were in bed at night. And that was a lot of pressure on him. And I have just always felt called to be home. So this has given me that opportunity. And I told you I was going to make this short, so I'm gonna start reining it in here. But I just wanted to let you know that this can be for anyone. Anyone can do it. It does not play favorites. You just have to put in the work. It's super, super simple. It's not easy. I like to tell people it's not easy. Like, you do have to put in the work. It's not handed to you. Not easy, but it's super simple. And this has changed my life more than I could probably explain in a video. So I'm not trying to get like all emotional on you, but seriously, changed my life, my family's life. I've changed as a person. My faith has grown. I'm surrounded by some of the most amazing women and men, but mostly women, that I could ever be around. I have some of probably the closest friendships now that have formed through this company and through, our team that I know will be lifelong friendships. So anyways, that's kind of my story as how I became a coach, where I started, and I'm just looking to share this opportunity with people. I want, some women who are fun, who love the Lord, who love others, who love their family, and just want to be, just be doing a little something more. I'm looking for women who have that kind of urge in them to do something that's a little not traditional. It's not your 9 to 5, but it's a way to really serve other people. And so this is just a way for me to share this opportunity with you all. And I hope that this gives you a good idea of who I am. And please feel free to ask me any questions. I really am an open book. So thank you all for joining, and I look forward to chatting with you all.